Hey guys, and welcome back to the second episode of my OneByOne Ironman account. Just a quick refresher of the account. Once I choose a skill, I must level up that skill until 99. Once it's made it to 99, I am able to use that skill whenever I want. So for instance, I've already got 99 agility, so I can use it whenever I want. As you can see by the title of this video, I decided to go for Hunter as my second skill. The main reason why I've chosen this skill so early is purely for the implants. Implants are basically a free lottery ticket that provide me with items on the account that I shouldn't really be able to obtain. So to me, this feels like I'm cheating on the account. By doing this skill really early, I have the most chances to get as many imps as possible as I go about training other skills. And also, since I'm using Runelight, I can highlight imps so they appear clearer on both the main game and the minimap. This is a highly recommended plugin. So I've spoken about the biggest advantage to train this skill, but let's look at why this might not be the best time to train. I am locking myself out of a lot of training methods due to only having agility unlocked. And unfortunately this means I cannot do birdhouse runs. Now this method is pretty much a staple for most accounts as it offers passive XP for Hunter and on top it offers seeds for farming. However, for my account, birdhouse runs couldn't be done efficiently anyways. Now let me explain. In order to do birdhouse runs, you have to have access to Fossil Island. To gain access to Fossil Island, you must do the dig site quest. One of the requirements is herblore, so I need to get 99 herblore. And to get 99 herblore, I need to do farming, which means I need to get 99 farming. And an easy way to get seeds is birdhouse runs. You see how this is a vicious cycle? So I think I just need to bite the bullet and know that I will have to train Hunter above 99. I went into detail about birdhouse runs as it is the meta for training Hunter, but let me go through some of the training methods I cannot do. So if I mention it here I will ignore it when I talk more in depth about how I got 99. I did do the natural history quiz because that will give me slower XP. Drift nets because that requires fishing. Deadfall and pitfall traps because they require wood, meaning I need wood cutting. Aerial fishing because this requires fishing. Maniacal monkeys because this requires monkey madness too. And finally herbivore because this requires herblore and Fossil Island. So, the first thing I decided to do is catch polar kebbits. Polar kebbits are located in the Relica hunting area. I got there by using the game's teleport to go to the games room. I then ran south so I can go around the edge of the White Wolf Mountain as I'd get KO'd by any of the wolves there. Once I was past the mountain, I ran west until I got to Camelot Castle, where I then travelled all the way north until I reached the hunting area. Tracking is not an enjoyable method, as discovered here. First you need to have a noose wand equipped. Then you inspect a hole. This will then reveal a track. Follow the tracks to the end. Interact with anything else around this track. You'll either find the kebbit or continue tracking. Once you do find him, you'll yank him out of his home for 30 XP. I did this method until I got to level 7. Now I am level 7, I'm going to hunt some Feldip weasels. These are located in the Feldip hills. To get there, I used the game's teleport to go to Castle Wars. I ran east to Yanil. Once I got there, I travelled down south. I needed to be careful as there are 2 ogres with max hits of 7s protecting that area. Since there were more ogres and wolves around this area that could easily kill me, I played it safe and ran around the edge of the current area. As explained in the previous method, this is tracking again. The major difference is that instead of doing it in the snow, I'll just be doing it in the jungle. Now I'm level 15, I decided to do Ruby Harvest and Copper Longtails at the same time. Both of these are located in the Piscatoris hunting area. To get there, I first used the game's teleport again to go to Castle Wars. I did a long run north to East Odoin. I then travelled west past Tree Gnome Stronghold, and then finally I ran all the way north past Eagle's Peak. For this method, I had the ability to lay down 2 traps at the same time. So I laid down 2 bird snares to catch the Copper Longtails, and while I waited for them, I ran around catching the Ruby Harvests. If you are using Runelight, I would highly recommend to tag all the Ruby Harvests. This makes it so much easier to see. Change the butterfly shift click from drop to release. You can do this by enabling the entity menu swapper and right clicking the inventory button and then selecting the config shift click. At level 29 I would normally change to do swamp lizards, however I'm not allowed to do this since they are located in Mauritania, which requires Priest in Peril which offers XP in prayer, so back to Ruby Harvest and Coppertails. At level 33 I completed the Eagle's Peak quest. Honestly I should have done this at level 27 but I simply forgot. This quest offers 2500 Hunter XP and most importantly gives the ability to place box traps, which is going to be great for a later training method. After completing the quest, I went back to carry on doing Ruby Harvest and Copper Longtails, as I personally didn't think there was anything better for me to do. Once I finally reached level 43, I decided to go and catch some spotted kebbits. I did this as they offered much higher XP as my previous method, plus I needed a change. Catching butterflies for 28 levels started to get on my nerves. Luckily for me, the Falconry was located a short distance east of me, so I just did a short run over there. To do this, first I needed to talk to Matthias to rent a falcon for 500 GP, and from there I just needed to click on the spotted kebbit whenever I saw one. Once the falcon has latched onto one of the kebbits, all you need to do is run over and pick it up. I also would recommend tagging these to help see them as they are dark kebbits within the same area, which might make it a bit confusing. At level 47 I wanted to change it up and go hunt orange salamanders. I'm pretty sure that hunting spotted kebbits is much higher XP, but I personally wanted a bit more chilled and less click intensive method to train. Orange salamanders are located in the desert east of the Shanty Pass. First I home teleported back to Lumbridge. I ran east through the toll gate to get into Al Kharid. Next I ran south to the Shanty Pass. After I went through the Shanty Pass I ran east over the bridge where I found the orange salamanders. Net traps only require a net and a rope. By clicking the young tree you can set these up. Wait until the lizard is trapped, then repeat. Easy and chilled method. If you don't catch the lizard, all you need to do is pick up the net and rope and set it back up again. But remember this is the desert, so be prepared, with the right clothing and plenty of water. Now I'm level 59, I went on to the red salamanders. These offer better XP than the orange ones, plus there is no need for the desert clothing, meaning I can wear full graceful again. This seems like a no-brainer to me. Red salamanders are located at Orania hunting area, which is north of the observatory and west of the battlefield. I got there by once again using the game's teleport to go to Castle Walls. Once I got to Castle Walls, all I need to do is run north past the observatory. Again, this is net trapping, so pretty much the same deal. Only difference is at level 40 you can set up 4 traps. Reaching level 67 meant that I can move on to my next method, Black Salamanders. With a higher XP rate than the red salamanders, I was game. Black salamanders are located in the wilderness, northeast of the Chaos Temple. I got there by first using the Chronicle to teleport to the Champions Guild. I ran north and headed to East Valrock Bank where I deposited all my items. I then ran north and jumped over the wilderness ditch. I then had to run around the forest as there were ogres and ents which would one-hit me. Once I reached the lava, all I needed to do was run west. This is again net trap method. However, I would suggest that you mark the tiles of the trees as I found them very difficult to see. You can do this by holding shift and left clicking. Also to note, in the wilderness you can set up 1 additional trap. So in this clip, I set up only 4, but technically I could have 5. Don't forget like me. Finally, I have reached level 80, which means I can set up 5 traps at once. This meant I was finally ready to start catching Chinchompas. Now if we look at the level requirement for Chinchompas, I could have started hunting these ages ago, but looking at many guys it seemed like the best idea was to wait until I had 5 traps. Now we can catch all 3 of them, which one should I choose? First let's look at the highest level one, black chins. The main issue with black chins is that they are in the wilderness and a very hot PKing spot. Since I'm level 3 I have no defense against any account built to PK in this area, and if I do get attacked I have no escape method besides running all the way south to the ditch, which is probably a really bad idea. Also if I wanted to be safe I could bank a lot, but this was seriously eating to my XP rate because again I'd have to run all the way south to get to a bank. This all sounded like a huge pain for me, so I decided not to hunt these. Now let's compare the red and grey chins. Red chins offer higher XP and within the ranging skill they can hit harder. So I didn't even consider grey chins and went straight for hunting reds. Red chins are located back in the Feldip hill area. Unfortunately, the only teleports I have are the home teleports and the chronicle, which none of these work in the wilderness. This meant I had to run all the way down south again to reach the wilderness ditch. I used the game's teleport once again to go to Castle Wars. I then ran east to Yanil. Once I got there, I travelled down south avoiding the ogres. Remembering that there are more ogres and wolves, I travelled around the edge of the current area, till I finally made it to the red chins. Hunting chins requires the box hunting method. Simply click on the box to place it down and wait for the chins to wander in. Since I was here for a while, I marked my tiles. Regarding the formation, I did it in a square formation, and it worked for me. I did feel like when I was going trap to trap, I did spend the least amount of time running. Also, since I was using Runelight, when the trap was done, the left click option was to reset. However, on the main game, this was simply to check, so you'd have to do 2 actions instead. Again, this is in the Entity Swapper plugin, and no, I did not do any tick manipulation because I'm not about that life. On the brink of 99 Hunter, I once again had to go back to the agility pyramid to get 100k cash for the cape. And yes, this clip I am showing is a direct copy from my agility video. Sue me. Once I got my 100k cash, I had to head all the way back to Feldip Hills to talk to the hunting expert. And just like that, I reached 99 hunting chins all the way from level 80 and then another perfectly timed XP lamp. I really wanted to spend a lot of time hunting chins as I think they will be a great way to help train other future skills. As I know some people were curious, how many chins did I catch? Well, in the end, I ended up with 41,641 red chins. Quite a lot. Whilst hunting chins, there is a chance to get the hunter pet, baby Chinchompa. So after catching 41,641 chins, did I get the pet? No. On the bright side, I was able to complete my first ever clue scroll on the account. It was an easy clue that only required me to search places. I managed to score myself a bronze full helm G. Now that I have 2 99s, I thought it might be a good idea to track how long it takes to achieve each one. I would like to put some notes on this data. I am by no means doing this the most efficient way, and I do tend to take breaks that can last a couple days and maybe some months. So if we look at agility, this took way longer simply because League was out and I cannot resist that game mode. And there we have it, 2 99s unlocked on the account. Thank you for watching and tune in next year for the 3rd instalment.